Overall, it can be so easy to compare ourselves to others, especially in social media when we're living in this world where everyone seems to be living their best lives. And it can also make us question ourselves and just overall the progress that we've made in life so far. So today I wanted to talk about confidence. I made this whole list, so hopefully this helps a little bit. Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name's Natalie, and I cover all things related to travel and aviation, personal and professional development. If you're interested in videos like this about confidence and soaring high through the skies, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss another video. So overall, there are different scenarios that can sort of foster these negative thoughts and negative self-talk, which in turn affects our confidence. And with each of these scenarios, we're gonna have solutions to combat all of these. So let's talk about social media. Social media is a very special creature. It's very weird. First of all, social media is a highlight reel. It is a flexing platform. Keep in mind that everybody has the power to alter photos and videos these days. We have filters, we have AI. That's another beast in itself. There's also good lighting, good camera angles. All of these things can make such a huge difference on how someone is perceived online. More times than not, people aren't gonna want to have unflattering photos of themselves online. They're not gonna want everyone to know when there's something horrible that's happening. Everyone's gonna be posting about the good things that happen in their lives. That's totally cool, but the dark side of it, you can get in this habit of scrolling through Instagram, TikTok, what have you, and start comparing yourself to that other person, whether it has to do with their accomplishments, their looks, their job, their life that they live. Essentially, it can seem like everybody has a perfect life, that everyone's having so much fun. We shouldn't compare ourselves to others. Everyone's going through something, no matter if they talk about it or not. It really helps me to keep track of my own accomplishments. I would suggest perhaps having like a folder on your computer where you can put little projects and things like that that you're proud of, or photos of yourself that you really like, or even like email correspondences that you're really proud of. Even if it's small and even if it seems insignificant, just save it, put it away, and look at those things whenever you start to feel down on yourself, and just remind yourself how amazing you are. Another thing that helps me is to just get off social media for a while. This doesn't mean like you have to like delete your account, or it doesn't mean like you have to do anything super drastic. Maybe take a step back for a little bit. Like there are times when I will go long periods just without posting anything. Sometimes it's because I just actually need a break and I need like a detox, and that's totally okay. That's another thing with social media. It can make us feel like we need to constantly be posting, and then we fall into that comparison trap again. So yeah, maybe limiting that for a while and just not logging on as much. If it doesn't have a dedicated purpose behind it, chances are social media scrolling is just, it has this very mind-numbing effect. And if we don't monitor it closely, that's when we start comparing ourselves to others. And that is when we are the most vulnerable, in my opinion. Also, since we're on the subject, if you need to block, unfollow, or silence someone, that's okay too. If it's influencers you follow, if they're not serving a healthy purpose of inspiration or anything like that. But yeah, don't apologize if you need to take measures like that. I think it's also good to be just overall self-aware of our headspace. If we're able to be honest with ourselves, and if we know that we are the type of person to fall into the comparison trap, to where it will affect our confidence, accept that about yourself. It's okay if you're like that, and just take active steps to minimize any interaction that you'll have that will give you that negative feeling. It's one thing if you want to get inspiration, or if there's somebody you admire and they inspire you to be a better person. Some can use comparison as inspiration and drive, and a lot of times it takes time to build yourself to that place, and that's totally okay. Most of the time, the beautiful qualities that you see in somebody else reflect the beautiful qualities that are in you. I don't know where I heard that. I think it like came up on my Instagram one day. I just loved that so much. I think a lot of it has to do with just self-acceptance. I think if we accept ourselves as we are, if we're overall just like kind to ourselves, actually, yeah, let's do that moving forward. So anytime we do find ourselves in a position where we are comparing ourselves to somebody else, use it as a tool and think, oh, that inspires me to work out. That inspires me to take on that hobby or that project that I've been wanting to do. Almost think comparison, action. So another thing that can really eat away at our confidence is when we make mistakes. This is especially true if you're a perfectionist. Like even if you're in a short conversation or if you're in a meeting or at a party, everything can be going great, but then in your mind, you maybe made one mistake or you maybe said that one thing wrong. Sometimes it can seem like that one mistake just completely overrides everything else wonderful that happened. My best advice for this is to just let it go and move on. Like chances are, from just a social situation standpoint, the other person isn't going to be thinking of that one mistake that you made and that one interaction that you had. Most people are more involved with their personal lives anyhow. So just don't be so hard on yourself. Just like let it go. Like, okay, that happened. That's in the past. We're going to leave it there. We're just going to continue moving forward. We're not going to look back. We're not going that way. We're going this way. This is, of course, easier said than done. It's taken me a long time to form this habit. For example, with my YouTube channel, in a sense, this is kind of like a training exercise. This is so new for me. It's taking me a long time to get used to like talking to the camera. I think with practice, it'll get better. It's intimidating, honestly. And it's so easy as a creative to just like want everything to be perfect and just want to say everything perfect and be self-conscious of like how I sound, how I look, if I'm doing something weird with my hands, if my hands look too washed out. Honestly, that's all I've been thinking about this whole time. But you know what? I'm just gonna let it go. I'm gonna move on. Okay, so hear me out on this one. So self-centeredness can also be a contributing factor. So sometimes we can just get into our head a little bit too much, and most of the time it's when we have absolutely nothing to do. For example, we might see ourselves in the mirror and just pick ourselves apart. Like, I wish I looked like this. I wish I wasn't breaking out today. I wish that I was at this point in my life. We can just come up with all these different things, get into our own heads. Is it contributing to something productive? Chances are probably not, because we tend to be our worst critics and we tend to just be really, really hard on ourselves. So let's get out of our own heads and let's overall just stay busy. So how can we stay busy? Pursue a hobby that you've been interested in. YouTube is a good example of this, and it's very much been keeping me busy and out of my own head. Do something that you think is gonna make you feel alive, something that's gonna just break up the monotony. It also really helps to just be kind to others. Even if people aren't kind to you back, just be kind to everyone. Here's the other thing too, like a lot of times when people are kind of like rude to you, or maybe they're a little bit mean, or you weren't really sure how they meant that one thing that they said to you, usually it means that they're going through confidence issues of their own. That's okay. That's their thing. That's their decision to do that. You have the power to be kind. Even if they're mean, open the door for them. Maybe buy them a coffee or smile at somebody. Even if you feel a little bit awkward about it, it's okay. Or giving a compliment, saying that you like somebody's outfit or how they did their hair or their makeup. Just the smallest thing, even if you think it's so insignificant, that person, if they're having a bad day, is gonna remember that. They're gonna remember you. They're just gonna be thanking God for you because you just made them feel so good. Another thing that helps me get out of my head is to just give it to God. So if I'm gonna do this channel, I'm just gonna have to be completely open. My faith is centered in Christ. I love Jesus so much. If we don't share the same faith, that's totally fine. But this is honestly what helps me the most. Jesus does not want us to worry about anything. He wants us to just give it to him. This is how you do it. When you're at that point, when you're just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to deal with this problem anymore, these thoughts I'm having, it's exhausting. Like, life is hard enough. I just get so tired when my brain is running around in circles. It's not productive. So what I do then, I then just go, Jesus, I give it to you. I'm letting it go. That just does everything. So stress is another factor that could really attack our confidence. Let's talk about where most sources of stress come from. No matter what's directly causing the stress, usually it's something that gives us this overall feeling that we are losing control, that we don't have control over something. You might not have control over everything. And when we don't feel like we're in control, it can negatively impact how we handle situations moving forward. And it directly affects our confidence. So here's some concrete ways that we can manage stress or just overall reduce it. The first thing I would do, maybe allow some time, like 10 minutes, to just completely let yourself feel it. Be stressed for 10 minutes. If you need to run to the washroom and cry, vent to somebody, scream in a pillow, like whatever you have to do that's safe for yourself and others, just let yourself feel it for a little bit, because I feel like if we suppress our emotions, it doesn't necessarily help us get through them. Let yourself feel it for a while. Let yourself cry. Give yourself that grace. It's kind of like when you really want to cry to a friend and you want someone to be there for you. And then that friend, that's such a wonderful friend, they let you cry into their shoulder. Be that friend to yourself. Allow yourself to cry. You can give yourself a hug if you need to. Because sometimes there are situations where it's like, you know, we might try to call our friends or nobody seems to be picking up the phone and like we really need somebody. It's nothing personal, by the way. More times than not, that's nothing personal. Just in case you're overthinking about that too. People are involved with their own lives. They've got their own things going on, and just because they're not answering your call now does not mean they don't want to talk to you. But let yourself cry. Be there for yourself and really support yourself. So then, after you have processed that, write down a list of things that are making you feel stressed. What is it about a situation that is making you feel stressed? So based on your list, what are some things you can do to improve the situation or to improve the outcome? Healthily analyze the situation and see what you can do about it. And sometimes this can be scary because this means actually facing your stress and doing something about it. A lot of times, the anticipation is worse than facing the actual stress. By coming up with solutions on how you can address those things, you have made progress towards mitigating that stress, handling that stress, and getting one step closer to eliminating it altogether, making you feel more confident. So another thing that can affect our confidence is when we don't take care of ourselves. This means both physically and emotionally. We can literally feel it inside ourselves when we aren't taking care of ourselves in the best ways that we can. So for instance, when we aren't exercising, when we're not getting enough sleep, when we aren't drinking enough water, or when we aren't eating the healthiest of food. So what are some ways that we can take care of ourselves? Exercise. It doesn't even have to be anything super big, super crazy. Even taking just a light walk around the block. Do something that moves you. You can also eat healthy foods that will nourish you and energize you. Basically foods that will make you feel good about yourself inside and out. There's definitely ways to like make food fun and still healthy for you. Another thing you can do is have a bedtime and stick to it and have a wake up time. Try to go to bed early and think of just cuddling up, snuggling, relaxing. It also helps me to drink water first thing in the morning and throughout the day. I usually do 4 to 6 glasses of water per day. The purpose of all of this is just to kind of like help us have a better sense of well-being and just an overall well-balanced state of mind. So the overall takeaways for this video is to give yourself love and grace. It's okay to not feel perfect all the time. It also helps to think of yourself as like a 4-year-old. How would you treat yourself if you were 4? Like, you probably wouldn't be hard on them and you probably wouldn't be mean to them. Just be kind to yourself as you would when you were a child. Also know that what you're feeling right now is a temporary feeling. It will go away. And with small actionable steps, like everything that we talked about in this video, all of this will pass, or it'll at least feel a little less heavy. And again, let it go. This one helps me the most. I hope these tips are helpful in building more confidence and just love yourself in the best, most wonderful way possible. Thank you so much for making it this far in the video. If you enjoyed this and if you want more stuff like this, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss another video. Comment below what you do to help build confidence in yourself. So tired. Running on 3 hours of sleep. We're in Dallas. I had one customer visit to do today, and then I got some calls. Then I did some stuff for work. Things just got a little crazy, and I didn't get a chance to sit down and record when like the lighting was good. So like it's nighttime. It is what it is. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.